So, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Team. Today again with Michael and Carsten. And today we're going to talk a bit about what are we actually going to do when we are trying to install some new meeting rooms.
Exactly. Like when the customers got the equipment, unpack it, screw it on the wall, and everything looks nice and neat. Yeah. And we get the account and we try to sign in, but nothing happens.
They think it's like the old days where it's just a screen and they have to share to the screen, right? But today,
there's so much more on it, and especially when we have the new Pro license where we are adding the Intune capabilities in it. So suddenly we are going from just a stupid device that we sign in to something that we actually control and put some security parameters on top of it.
So why can it be so difficult? It works on my PC, but it doesn't work in the room.
Exactly.
Have you heard that before?
And it used to work at home, and the device is configured correctly with my own account, and all that stuff that we are hearing. But one thing that we need to bear in mind is that out of the box, if you're not using Intune as a company, it's still enabled behind the screen. So the second you apply a Pro license to a device account, then it will automatically assign Teams, Intunes.
So if I, as a company, don't have any devices rolled into Intune, I need to specify that my device on Teams rooms is not in Intune at all, even though I'm not running Intune.
Exactly. So you can do the quick and dirty where you just remove the Intune part, but I definitely don't want to suggest that. But
that's so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy and it's a quick fix, exactly. And it works. Exactly, it's just a barrier for all good. But no, there is a device administrator that used in older version of Android. It's actually the same way that we're using in all our Android Teams devices. And by default in a new Microsoft tenant, it's not allowed, it's not enabled. So that's something that the end customer needs to go in and enable for us to sign in. And pretty much what we use Intune to is just to get a green check mark. So, I mean...
today. Might in the future, might come some, right?
Come some,
So you can say there's basically two different places where you need to have either a license to enroll in Intune, and you need to have that checkbox within Android Device Manager. So if you have checked that box, Android Device Manager, and the account have the license, then you need to set up Intune.
Exactly. But if you don't use Intune, you're good to go with that check mark. Then you're compliant, and you will just go and use whatever MDM other application you're using with Intune.
Yeah. Okay. So quite often I hear that, but we're not using Intune.
And that's where we get that.
Okay, that was new to me. Really nice to hear, because I actually think I have some customers that really need to hear this as well. But what if they were set up to Intune and everything? Would everything just run smoothly, just out of the box? Do they have to
They have to do a lot of configuration. Or it depends. It depends how strict your Intune setup is, because we can actually lock it down. I know there are some from our friends at Poly has created a really nice description on how to set up Intune for meeting rooms, because we can lock it down. Because again, when we create a meeting room account, we actually create a corporate account that has access into the entire corporate world. And we want to protect that. We don't want something in the find of the world trying to sign in with that one and get information, or internal user information and so on. So we want to protect it. So normally what we advise customers is to lock it down as much as possible. Do so close Intune routes as possible, where we are doing dynamic routes, where we are putting in devices. So we only allow the one that we have given the license to have this route, because we are enabled that device administrator, and which is a legacy Android management. So we don't want to enable that for all the other politics that the company has created for their Android devices.
Yeah, so you could say it in kind of a way, the group about the products, you can define exactly which products are allowed to be on your network.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing for the IT. They don't have some parts of the world where they go out and buy some kind of equipment that they don't want to support, and the employees call the IT. So basically the IT in that group exactly manage which products should be signed on. And that could be for the manufacturer, and that could be down to that specific product.
Yeah.
And then we have the other side of it around the accounts.
Yeah, but before we just end with that one where we're controlling it, we also want to put conditional access, and we're going to have a talk about that later. But we want conditional access to only allow the equipment to sign in from within our corporate walls.
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that is some of the boring stuff, but it's something that we need to do.
Very important.
Yeah.
And security is just becoming more and more important. And it's just something that the end customers are having much more focus and attention on. In old days, it was easier when we just have the isolated room for itself. But now we're open up for Pandora's box and just
So what are the considerations that the IT need to do before that they employ or deploy Android-based Teams rooms?
Again, manufacture. What kind of devices do we want? What kind of licenses do we just want where we don't have any security built up because we have this basic license where Intune is not part of it and Azure Active Directory P1 is not included, so that limits some of the control functionality. Again, very important thing. We need to consider where do we want those rooms to be enabled and in which Android version do we also want them. And again, that's a continual job. For
it is a job for everybody here because
it was so much easier back in the days with a good zip system.
Yes.
Basically install it and leave it for 10 years and it will still be working.
And some IT departments, they actually want to know the software firmware release as well, because due to security, right? Because they also have a statement internally where we're moving towards everything. So security.
And that opens up a discussion that the integrator needs to have with the security department, because we are only running Android version 10 on a lot of devices. Some of them come out in 11 and 12 and so on, but right now we are on 10, and it is an rather old security-wise operation system. So again, have an open dialogue with security about what kind of stuff you're implementing, so they can help you lock everything down.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, you can't choose which Android version you're on. That is basically the manufacturer.
Yes.
Together with Microsoft. So right now, the lowest Android version you can be on if you want to have a Team certified device. So that is Android 10 right now. But you can't, if you want to
go higher.
You can't just go higher.
No, you need to have the in the certification mode again, probably, right? So,
Exactly.
And well, good news is that version 10 end of life has been moved, so we got a year and a half more.
Exactly.
Work with those devices.
I think we still have until
25.
mid 25.
Yeah. But you can also close everything around the system down, as you mentioned, right? So it's not, maybe security-wise, the Android version 10 is not completely there, but if you can close everything else down, a video meeting is not that critical security-wise. It depends.
And remember, it's not an open Android operation system. You can't push applications, stuff like that. It's just the core application that are on it. So
it's scrapped down to basic, right?
You can't get Angry Bird on the meeting rooms, for example. So that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah.
That was possible on the Service Hub.
It was?
Yeah, it still is. A little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's, anything, we talked about doing these video shorts and...
they're gonna be long, we know
that's
it.
Always difficult, but let's wrap this one on. Anything else that we need to add before?
No, I don't.
I think we'll do a follow-up on security. And
Yeah. So security, we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
So this was basically just a short discussion about what you need to consider before you're enabling or deploying Microsoft Teams rooms on Android